I'm sorry, but this does not feel like a skin tint. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel, and in today's video we are testing and reviewing the new e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint with Mineral SPF 50. I have been testing this out thoroughly, and let's just say I have some thoughts. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. First of all, let's take a look at what this e.l.f. tint is supposed to be. So the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint is a hydrating serum-like skin tint that delivers light, buildable coverage with a natural dewy finish. It includes a mineral SPF 50 sunscreen with no white cast. It contains zinc oxide, which is the mineral SPF 50, niacinamide to help brighten the skin tone, and bisabolol, which helps to soothe the skin. So the big thing with this is €20 for 30 ml of product. I think it's about £18, $18 for e.l.f. for an e.l.f. product. I don't mind paying high prices for really good products. So whether it's drugstore, whether it's high end, if it's good, I don't mind paying those prices. But I think there's some issues with this product. So first of all, let's just take a look at the shades. So it comes in 18 flexible shades. I've always been quite lucky when it comes to e.l.f. shades, and I think that's because I'm a neutral. So because I'm neutral, I can go in the middle, neutral, I can go warm, I can go cool. I think for other people, it can be more tricky. And there's a big issue with this product, and we're going to address it first. And that's that this product does oxidize. So I swatched this a while ago. So that's the shade Light Cool. Now I'm going to pump out another swatch for you. So this is number 6, blended out and dried down. And this is number 6 when you first apply. Do they or do they not look like completely different shades? So quite significant, aren't they? You know, look at that. I'm going to be real with you. It's not an issue in my skin tone. In fact, the oxidizing actually does improve the shade for me. That's me personally. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So you need to take the fact that it oxidizes into account when you are choosing your shade, because it's pretty significant. I'm going to show you another shade that I picked up, which I haven't worn, 5 Light Warm, and I'm just going to show you the difference between the two. This is what 5 looks like, and this is what 6 looks like when it's dried down. So that's 5 Light Warm, and that is 6 Light Cool. I will actually show you a couple of daylight swatches of the shades as well, just so that you can see them. I will swatch my other e.l.f. shades next to these so that you can see them, because I think that might be quite helpful. Now, before we get into this review, I just want us to address one question, and that is, what is a skin tint? It is a lightweight, sheer coverage complexion product that evens out your skin tone without fully covering it. Think of a cross between skincare and makeup, okay? So it's kind of your skin, but a little bit better. Light coverage, natural finish, full of skincare benefits, and easy to apply. Usually blended best with your fingers, okay? And I've learned that over recent times, really, that the best way to apply skin tint is with your fingers. So I went in straight away with this product and I applied it with my fingers. And just to let you know, that did not go well, okay? This product looks on the back of your hand really runny and really fluid. And then when you go to blend it out, it just feels really, really thick. I am going to apply one side with my fingers and then one side with a brush. So let's give this a shake first, because it's a skincare product, because it's a skin tint. We need to give it a shake, mix everything up. So we'll go in on this side first, and I'm going to apply with my fingers. So just taking a little bit and okay, I'm going to start rubbing it in. And I've just prepped my skin in the usual way. So I've used hydrating essence. I've used a moisturizer. I haven't used a separate SPF for this. Now you'll see here, it's becoming really thick. I couldn't believe it. Like it's quite a challenge to blend it out. It feels, yeah, really substantial, and I just was not expecting that at all. And can you see how much coverage that's given me on this side? It's quite a challenge to blend out with your fingers. I'm not going to lie to you. So we'll just pop a bit up here, and I think you'll be able to see that once you start blending it, it just becomes really thick. Look at that. Let's just take off a bit of excess. And you'll see my hyperpigmentation up here. You know, no skin tints cover my hyperpigmentation, because skin tints are supposed to be a really light coverage. I mean, that's covering it. Look at that. In terms of the fragrance of this, I would say that it has that kind of just typical mineral sunscreen fragrance, the SPF type makeup smell. Okay, so that was a really small amount that I applied there, really small. And this is how it's looking on one side. So on this side, I'm applying with my BK Beauty 101 brush, and yeah, I'm just going to coat the tips of the bristles with it. I have definitely found better application with a brush than with my fingers, 100%. In fact, I wore this one day after I'd applied it with my fingers, and it looked so good from a distance. And when I saw myself close up, I had to remove it. I had to take it off because it looked so bad. It looked so bad on my skin. So just blending that in, just pushing it in, and I'm trying not to use a lot of product. It's not too dewy. It's actually a beautiful finish. It's the kind of finish that I do dream of. So glowy, but not greasy. Not greasy at all. Okay, so that is a really small amount applied on my whole face, and I'm really sorry, but this is not a skin tint. This is a foundation. Everything about it screams foundation. There's nothing about this that tells me it's a tint. You know what? I don't usually have a problem with skin tints given a really good level of coverage, but I have an issue with this. I have an issue with this because this is something that we've been waiting for so long from e.l.f., like a true skin tint, because all of their foundations give a really good amount of coverage. And just for reference, the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation, the new one, is my holy grail drugstore foundation, okay? So I'm not knocking e.l.f. And that gives me the same coverage as this tint. There's zero difference in the coverage. So before we move on, let's take a look at a little before and an after. So I'm going to let this sit now while I do the rest of my makeup. I'll come back then and I'll show you a little bit of daylight footage, and I'll show you exactly how it looks close up on my skin. So everything's had a little bit of time to settle now, and we are just going to cut to the chase. So as I'm talking, I'll show you a little bit of daylight footage that I've taken this week, and I think that you can see out in the daylight, it really does look good. I do have a dry skin type, but I really think that this would be suitable for the majority of skin types. But I just want to make a really, really important point about this. And we've spoken about it when I covered the Merit sunscreen. Okay, so the Merit sunscreen is a sunscreen and supposed to be used as one. This is a skin tint, which is supposed to be used as a skin tint. So the primary purpose of the e.l.f. skin tint is to give you makeup coverage. And the secondary purpose of this is to give you a little bit of protection. Okay, so SPF 50, but it's not going to be your sole SPF. You do need to be pairing this up with another SPF, okay? So please do not rely on this for your SPF coverage. You would have to apply a lot of it in order to get the coverage that is required to protect your skin. Let me take you through quickly the good things about this. Okay, this is not a tacky skin tint. There are some skin tints that I've tried recently that just remain very tacky on the skin, don't dry down. This is not one of them. It actually looks really good. So anybody looking at my skin now would be pretty impressed at how it looks. Now, it doesn't look natural. I look like I have makeup on, but from a bit of a distance, it doesn't look heavy and my skin doesn't look overly dewy. I would describe this as a satin finish. In fact, I would say it's a very, very similar finish to the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. And you know, what I do appreciate with this is that I don't actually have to powder, and I thought that because it's marketed as a dewy product that I would have to powder this, but I don't feel the need to powder at all. So is it self-setting? I don't know. Maybe there is a bit of self-setting in there with it. And for those of you wondering how this wears, it actually wears really nicely, okay? And unless you are absolutely rubbing your face, it is going to stay there. I will say though, there was one day that I wore this and it was a really long day. I'd had it on for over 12 hours and I'd say by the 12-hour mark, it had faded. I couldn't really see anything left on my skin of the tint. I really do feel like this is pretty undetectable feeling on the skin. However, it's not undetectable looking. Although I can't feel it on my skin, it dries down, doesn't remain dewy, can't feel it for the rest of the day. Actually, my skin feels really hydrated. It is very detectable to the eye. It looks really makeupy, especially in this area. So no matter how I've applied this, no matter how much I've applied, it kind of sits quite heavy in my smile lines and also in my pore area. You know, this is a real telltale area for me. It looks a little bit heavy, a little bit bordering on cakey in those areas. And can you tell me why that is? Because this is supposed to be a tint. It's supposed to be undetectable. It's supposed to be super lightweight and basically become part of your skin. I don't get that from this. So why on earth is it being called a skin tint? Before anybody says anything, I do know that because it's a mineral sunscreen, it is going to be thicker. I get that. This from Lisa Eldridge is a true skin tint. This from L'Oreal is a true skin tint. This is not a skin tint in my opinion. I feel like this is being pushed as a skin tint because it's trendy. Skin tints are trendy. So yeah, this is a skin tint when actually it's a medium coverage foundation. It's like Merit are marketing the uniform as a sunscreen when really it's a skin tint. Just stop it. Stop doing this. Like, it is so annoying. And the most frustrating part about this is that it's 20 euros. This is about €9, I think. And for me, it's just head and shoulders above the rest. However, if you're sat there and thinking, well, I hated the e.l.f. Soft Glam foundation, you might like this. So I think it just depends on your skin type and your preferences. For me, I thought I was buying a skin tint and I got a medium coverage foundation. That oxidizes quite significantly. I don't hate it and I will use this. Oh, believe me, I will use this. But I don't love it. I'm not saying that this is a terrible product. I just don't feel like it fulfills the claims of a traditional skin tint. And that's the bottom line of it. So do let me know, have you picked this up? Are you planning on picking this up? I would love to hear all of your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.